Oh, sorry. We remember those days when the system had to be unplugged to restart. Well, it's that time. Now, I want to talk to you for a moment about my job. I'm the opening speaker. Well, let me tell you the good news, for me at least. You've got so much information that is coming at you today that no matter what I do, you're going to forget it if I do my job. Because I want to make sure that your minds are open to absorb everything that's coming in. But I'm going to start with a confession. Several months back, I talked to Michael Perry about the BENECARD vision. And as he was talking, I realized that as a futurist and as a future planner, as a predictor, I was wrong. I once made a terrible mistake, and I realized talking to Michael, that is what happened. Now, I can tell you what that mistake was. About 25 to 30 years ago, I was the head of the Medicaid fraud unit for the Pennsylvania Office of Attorney General. I became a fraud expert in the healthcare industry. I had a team of people across Pennsylvania, and they were all experts. In fact, it was the feds that brought my people in to teach them how to uncover fraud. We ended up going to private insurers, we traveled to healthcare companies, and we were seen as the experts in healthcare fraud. I had a vision. My vision was that I could get my people to better themselves by leaving my unit and going into the private industry. And many of them did. They went with pharmaceutical companies, they went with hospitals, they went with Deloitte, they went with KPMG. And then all of a sudden, a couple years later, I realized they had all moved on. And I didn't understand why. I didn't know why they moved on. But then I realized when I look back, the healthcare system that we were involved in at that time looked a lot like this. Yeah, the money bounced. The insurance companies made the hospitals happy. The hospitals made the insurance companies happy. And when we started to expose fraud, they didn't want to know about it. Why? Because they didn't want to look bad to the providers. And they didn't want the providers to look bad. So they started backpedaling. And all of a sudden, I'm standing there talking to Michael, realizing that's why my people didn't stay in the business. It was an incredible moment. I realized I had been wrong. And what's funny is over the next 25 years, I represented doctors and pharmacists as a criminal defense lawyer. And I had a chance to look at the system. And I realized that today, there's good news. The system has advanced. Yeah, not that far. That's what today's about. Today is about advancing the system and changing things. So I have to tell you, I was never so happy to be wrong in my life. And at the moment I heard Michael, I realized there was a vision. And that's what today is about. So I got excited being invited here to share with you and talk about that. Now, let's look at 2020. Why today and why is this let me do this. Let me sum up 2020 as best as I can. Yep, that's 2020. We all started the year with visions. We had ideas. We had resolutions. We all had things that we wanted to do. And everything came to a crashing halt. And people panicked. People got scared. But you know what's interesting? This is one of the greatest moments for innovators. This is one of the greatest moments for people that want to move into a future that means something. Because one of my pet peeves is when someone says to me, what is the new normal? This is the new normal. No, it's not. The new normal is what you, the people on this call, that's what they want it to be. Because the bottom line is, you are the leaders, you are the innovators, and you are the people that care about the future, and it is up to you to make that future happen. Let's take a moment and look at what happened this year at the pandemic. In the pandemic, we started talking about things like washing our hands, social distancing. People began to wear masks. Why? Because the entire world gathered together to fight COVID. COVID was the greatest unifying vision the world has ever seen. We all got together and wanted to make a difference. We wanted to stop this disease. And what happened? Our culture changed. Our vocabulary changed. Ask yourself, in 2019, did you ever use the word social distancing? Did you ever, well, unless you were a surgeon or a doctor or a dentist, actually think about washing your hands consciously? No, we just did it naturally. But now we do it more often because we don't have a choice. We want to be part of something bigger because we all want a noble purpose. We all want to be a part of something. As we look at what you're going to hear today, the information you're receiving allows you to be part of something bigger, something that's going to change something that has been engraved in stone for a very long time. This is a powerful, unifying vision. Now, for those of you that need visuals, I'll share with you what a unifying vision is. Everyone moving in one direction for one singular purpose.
This beachcomber just wanted to feed a bird some chips. But she sure got a lot more than she bargained for. One by one, seagulls swoop in.
Can you imagine if we today, if all of us can change the vocabulary of an industry? And when I say vocabulary, yeah, in your business, the healthcare business, there are so many acronyms and alphabet soup. You create your own starting today. I mean, when I was in healthcare fraud, I couldn't take them all and I had to write them all down. But you can start new ones today. You can change the system because we're going to enter into this with an open mind, listening to the possibilities and options. And when you seek out your role in this vision, think about what makes it work. A unifying vision is something that is so big that each and every person can find their purpose. The vision is bigger than just one person. It's bigger than each individual. It has to be bigger than everyone else. So where will you go tomorrow? What will you do tomorrow to make a difference? It is up to you to be part of the new normal, because the new normal is what we define. It's not what society defines. It's not what COVID defines. The new normal is up to us. So every time someone says new normal, your response should be, I'm not done yet. Because it's up to us. We have control over what is normal.
Every time I play Satisfaction, I find a new little thing going on like that. I should have done that on the record.
Yeah, sometimes I just like to give advice that means nothing. But, and by the way, for the younger people, millennials that don't know who Keith Richards is, he was a baby boomer. Remember our generation, we made fun of you for man buns? Yeah, well, we invented the mullet, so let's call it even, okay? But now, as we go on with the unifying vision, what we are looking at is something that gives people a purpose, and today is about giving you a purpose. Because we're going to change today how the PBM game is played. It's time to unplug and say, we are going to fight the system in unison the way we fought to correct COVID. The way we have gathered together, that is a big vision. I always talk about the power of a vision and how Amazon had a wide vision to be the greatest in customer service. And they cover products across the board. It's that vision that allowed them to peak and drive and carry us through the pandemic. Apple had a singular vision, vertical, best in computing. Well, the best in the PBM game is what is ahead of us here today. The best, making us an integral role in that vision. So when you listen to what you hear today, think about the information that you're receiving. Now, when we change something, people get scared of new things. People tend to run. Well, it's up to you to give them a comfort zone. So the HR, the CEOs, the C-suite people, if you accept this vision, embrace it and understand it, and you roll it out to your people and allow them to see that they can find their purpose within this entire vision, they can find that they belong. And when people find their purpose, it's that eternal search for meaning. People want to belong. People want to be a part of something big. It is up to you to give them that. So you allay their fears, their concerns, their hesitations by enrolling them and making them comfortable with what we are doing. And today is about all the information you need. My mentor in the speaking business once said to me, Joe, nothing you ever say will matter. What will matter is what the audience thinks when you speak. So I ask you right now, keep a mind that is open throughout today and think. Because find the realness, find the purpose, and find your sense of belonging in what you're hearing today and bring it all together so that you can enroll in this vision and move forward with power and energy and bring people in. And when you understand it, you will bring clarity to it. You will give them the ability to understand because you do. So what we are looking for is a unifying vision that brings everyone together, and it's up to you to roll it out. And today is about the information you need to do that. Because whether you're talking to your customers, clients, employers, advisors, depending on the role you have, people are looking for two things. They want trust and they want empowerment. And you can give them the opportunity to find both of them in a unifying vision. Now, let me take a side note and say, today is about a powerful unifying vision. But I encourage each and every one of you in your own business, in your own dreams and your own goals, to ask yourself how big your vision is. How big can you grow? How powerful can you be? Because each of us needs that vision on our own. And while you're part of someone else's, while you're part of something else, we each need to always be part of our own. Because that is what drives us to success. That is what makes us grow, and that's what makes us powerful. Now, when we talk about this, we need people to do this and believe. I want to share with you that during the early 2000s, I was a juvenile judge. And as a juvenile judge, I sat in court over judgment of juveniles. One of those juveniles was a young man named Kenny. Kenny taught me something valuable, but that's not how it started. I would go into court and Kenny would come in for review. And in the juvenile system, a juvenile sat in front of you every 6 months, and as a judge, it was my job to determine if he had been rehabilitated to go back to society or whether he could be set free. But every time Kenny came in front of me, Kenny cursed me out, called me names, and I sent him back. I first met Kenny when he was 14. About 6 months before his 21st birthday, I took the bench. There was Kenny. And I knew that in the age of 21, he was going to be released from the system, whether I liked it or not, because juveniles aren't held beyond that. I took the bench wondering what I was going to do. Kenny cursed me out, called me names, and I looked at him and I thought, I'm locking you up again. And I said, Kenny, the next time I see you, either you are going to be an adult in the prison system or you will be a husband and father. Get out of my courtroom. They took Kenny away, and the whole time he cursed. Well, that was the end of Kenny. Till about 6 years later, I'm in my office one day, and my office manager says to me, Joe, can you come downstairs? There's a young man named Kenny here. So I came down the steps, and there was 6'5" of Kenny. I knew I was going to die. I didn't want my office manager to die. So I took Kenny into the conference room. Kenny reached into his jacket pocket. I took a deep breath and he took out a photograph. And he showed me a photo. I looked at the photo and I said, Kenny, who's the girl? He said, that's my wife. We're having a baby and we're getting married on Saturday, and I wanted you to know. I hesitated. I looked at Kenny and I said, Kenny, wow, what happened? And he looked at me and said, Mr. Grisillo, you're the only person that ever gave me a choice. You gave me an option. I chose to be part of the human race. Yep. People will choose to be something bigger, but you have to make them feel it. You have to make them want to embrace it. So this all begins with the C-suite. Each one of you in your leadership roles, whether it's HR or it's vice presidents or it's marketing or it's innovators, you have to live and breathe the vision that you are adopting. You have to accept it and then roll it out so that everyone can choose it because it is the best choice. And let's face reality, none of us want to be in a system that is antiquated, old, and wasted. So it is up to you to find the purpose, belonging, give people the choice, make them clear about it, and enroll them in it. Because once you have done that, then people can find their place. They find their zone, and people will know that they belong. Well, at least that's another piece of advice for you to take away, so you can't say I'm just not a giver. But the goal here is for you to open your minds. Be willing to accept, because the bottom line is this is 2020. It's not the year of COVID. It's the year of innovation. It's the year of change. Oh, sorry. I guess I'm getting to the end of my time. Something's going on and I... Well, that was weird. Well, I guess that's the end of my time. Now I am immersed. It's time for you to immerse yourself in this incredible day planned by our friends at BENECARD. The information that you will share today, the information that you will learn, the understanding of the changes that are needed are going to push you and challenge you to become part of a solution. I encourage each of you to use the mindset, the tool set, and the skill sets that I have shared to become effective in the future of the PBM industry. Open your mind to the possibilities that exist in this whole new PBM ecosystem. It is my hope that each of you will choose to be a part of the amazing unifying vision that begins today, ending the PBM game. People are expecting change. People are ready for change. Embrace the change, embrace the unexpected. It is up to the people in this event to change the future. And I challenge each and every one of you to be part of an amazing solution. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of this day and you gain from these amazing speakers. This is Joe Cursillo, and I thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day.